Good afternoon and welcome to Three and Out here on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Kevin Thomas, BJ Bennett, and Ben Troop. Glad you were with us here. So much to get to here on the show as we are coming to you live from Coach's Corner on Victory Drive in Thunderbolt. Of course, a great place to come out and watch the games, watch the SEC Championship game. They're going to have it on all over the place here out in the Sound Garden as well. And, of course, live music on the weekends. Although John Henderson here at Coach's said, look, no band on Saturday. We got the SEC Championship game going on, so we're going to focus on football here, but a place to come for NFL, college, and, of course, food, beverages, and more right here, Coach's Corner on Victory Drive in Thunderbolt. So plenty to get to here on the show. We'll talk a lot of football as we go through here on this Thursday, including with our next guest who joins us right here off the jump. He is the head football coach of the Valdosta State Blazers. They are into the third round of the NCAA D2 playoffs. They're at home this week against Bowie State. Gary Goff joins us here on Three and Out. Coach, welcome. Thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me.
Appreciate you coming on. And again, speak to what this season has meant to you as a coach. You come in year number one, you went 10-0, lost in the playoffs. Then last year at the D2 level, you guys just didn't get an opportunity to play at all. And then now back at it this year, you sit here 10-1 in the third round of the playoffs. What has being able to get the season in and play it meant to you and meant to the program to be able to get out there and actually have football this year?
You know, it's been phenomenal. I've been so happy for these young men. I mean, we've got 16 seniors that, due to the COVID season, had a choice to either come back or go on and start their careers. And they all chose to come back and be part of something special. So I tell you, it's been just a joy to coach these young men and have a season like we're having right now. That COVID year, if it did anything to everybody, it made us really be thankful and appreciate that. We've got our health and we're getting to play this unbelievable sport that we all love.
Coach, 66 points in the win over West Georgia. You guys had 719 yards of total offense. I guess for a playoff performance, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's really good. We would take that every weekend if we could. The guys are just excited to play. They're excited to make a run. We feel like we made one mistake in one game on one play in the 2019 season that potentially kept us from winning another national championship. So I'm proud of the guys. They've been extremely locked in, and they've been paying attention to detail. And I told them that doesn't guarantee a win, but it sure helps.
And Coach, what type of challenge do you guys expect from a team like Bowie State?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I said, what type of challenge do you guys expect from a team like Bowie State?
Well, they've got a phenomenal defense. They got the number 5 defense in the country. Their defensive line is really, really good. They just got some guys that are big, strong, and fast up there. Their middle linebacker is an FCS All-American a couple years back. So, they're just really talented on defense. So, we're going to have our hands full on the offensive side. And then their offense is dynamic. They got a quarterback that is really athletic and got a good arm on him. He came back in the game last week after an injury and threw two touchdown passes to get that win. So, I know they're going to be a physical, strong, fast team that's got a chip on their shoulder and going to come in here and give us everything they got. So, we've got to be ready. We've got to be ready. And when you play these playoff games like this, the margin of error is very, very small. So we got to make sure we take care of business.
Gary Goff, head football coach of Valdosta State, joining us here on Three and Out. And, Coach, you talk about offense. Yours pretty good. Your quarterback last week, Ivory Durham, over 400 yards of offense between him in the air and running, 4 touchdowns for him last week. Talk about what kind of a dynamic playmaker he is and what he has brought to the table here this year.
Yeah, Ivory Durham is a dynamic player. A lot of people had major concern around the program when Rogan Wells decided to leave and go to Western Carolina. We didn't bat an eye because we knew Ivory Durham was a phenomenal player who played a lot of football. He just hadn't had his time to start yet. And I think you saw that throughout the season this year. I mean, with every start, he got better and better. He is a gamer. I mean, I've not been around a quarterback as locked into the moment and to the game as he has. He's a lot of fun to coach. He has got the ability to, even if it's not the perfect play call, he can turn it into a perfect play call. But he's had a great year. Last week's second round of playoffs for us, I felt he was locked in and motivated. And that young man's got a lot to prove. He's got a chip on his shoulder too. And I tell you, if he keeps having the Harlan Hill performances like that, he's got a chance to be one of the most decorated quarterbacks to play here at Valdosta State.
Coach, you're playing Bowie State, as we mentioned, in the NCAA quarterfinal coming up on Saturday. How important is it to have these games at home at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium in Titletown?
Oh, it's very important. I mean, number one of the most important things, I think it's supposed to be about 77 degrees this weekend. We could be up north where it's 27 degrees. That wouldn't be any fun. And, another very important factor is we're at home in front of our home crowd. I mean, having the home field advantage there in Titletown is just, it's that 12th man, and I'm excited to get out there. And so is our team to play in front of our home crowd.
And coaches, what has been the message to the team this week? Obviously, to be in this position is something they definitely work hard for in the offseason. But what has been your message to the guys this week?
Y'all are breaking up a little bit. I don't know if y'all can hear me very clearly, but
yep.
You're saying what can we expect this week?
Yeah, what was your message to your team this week?
Oh, message to the team this week? Yeah, do the same thing we've been doing all season long, and that's worry about ourselves. Let's worry about our assignments. We talk every week about being tough attitude and discipline, and some of those values are given 100% effort and 100% of the time. And, being selfless, team comes first. But, we all year long, the team's done a great job of focusing on, one game at a time, one practice at a time, one play at a time, and worrying about being 1-0. And that was my message there, Monday morning to the team is we had a lot of guys with a lot of experience on this team, a lot of guys who have won a national championship on this team, and I can sense that they're feeling it. They know we're getting, closer and closer. So I kind of just wanted to ground them a little bit and say, just worry about this week. Just worry about this practice. Do not pay attention to what it might be at the end of the road, because if you do that, you're going to trip up along the way and not being able to finish the mission. So message has been, all playing, Blazer football and Bowie State.
Gary Goff joining us here, head football coach at Valdosta State. And Coach, I was going to ask you kind of about that, the championship expectations around the program that are there. What is it like coaching a team that has that kind of ingrained in them as well, where it's like, hey, we came here to be in this moment, to compete and move on and go play for a championship?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's got a lot to do with, our recruiting here. A lot of our guys came here for a reason. A lot of our whether we signed them out of high school or whether we got transfers in here, grad transfers, they all wanted to come here and be a part of something special and help win a championship. So, we're very thankful and fortunate to be in the situation that we're in right now. We're not being able to get on the road and recruit like a lot of programs are right now, but that's okay. We'll trade that for the national championship, because if you can win a national championship, that's going to help recruiting. But we got a special group of young men, and they understand that they're playing for one another, and they got a chance to do something that very few get a chance to do in their collegiate playing career.
And 1 p.m. on Saturday in Valdosta, round 3 of the Division II playoffs. Gary Goff, head football coach, Valdosta State, our guest here on 3 and Out. Coach, appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Hey, thank you, fellas. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it. Gary Goff joining us here on 3 and Out. BJ and Ben, again, championship tradition there at Valdosta State. And he is a guy that is obviously came in 20, I'm trying to get all these years together with COVID, 2019, went 10-0 in the regular season, lost in their first playoff game. Didn't get to play last year because of COVID. This year, they're back at it. Went 9-1 in the regular season. Won last week to go 10-1, so they're into the quarterfinals. But a program that expects to win and has certainly done it under Gary Goff so far.
One of the top programs in the country. I mean, undoubtedly one of the top programs in the country. And you asked about the championship expectations. Those are very real. When you're at a program like Valdosta State, the regular season matters. Those games are very important. But you even heard Coach talk about it. There's an energy around the team now because we're into the quarterfinals. We're talking about a win and we're in the Final Four. And I love the rhythm they have offensively. He kind of laughed at some of the numbers because, Ben, that's a dream performance. You're in the second round of the NCAA playoffs, and you drop 66 and go for 719 total yards. I mean, that is big time. So excited to see what Valdosta State can do. I know people are talking about Georgia here in this state chasing a national championship, Kennesaw State doing it at the FCS level, and we'll hear from Brian Bohannon later, but Valdosta State obviously doing it at the Division II level as well.
Yeah, like you don't go to Valdosta State if you don't understand the tradition. You go to Vet Out State because you don't shy away from pressure. It might be harder to just play for Vet Out State and actually, I try to get to this round, the quarterfinals, as you mentioned, Kevin. But at the end of the day, you know what Valdosta is about. I mean, they got documentaries. They got documentaries for the college. They got documentaries for the high school. They got documentaries for the middle school maybe coming out. If you in Valdosta, it's about winning championships or bust. But you talk about tradition-rich programs throughout the state of Georgia. I don't know if it gets bigger and greater than what they're doing down there in Valdosta right now. But hey, man, another year, Kevin, back in the quarterfinals. Different years, same results.
And stop being objective.
You might
Kevin.
see me on the side.
I mean, come on. Go ahead and give us, flex a little bit. One of the best programs in the country. It's all right.
No, it is. And again, I'm excited to see what happens on Saturday. Maybe I'll have to make a trip to northern Alabama when they get to actually, I think they might have moved. I may have to go farther than that, but we'll see. They got to win a couple more games to get to that national championship game. We've got more to come. We are live here at Coach's Corner on Victory Drive in Thunderbolt. Come see us. Talk some football with us. A lot of folks talking about the SEC championship game. Baseball is now locked out. We'll get to that as well. So much more to come here from Coach's Corner. Come see us. It's 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you back here, 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network, coming to you live from Coach's Corner on Victory Drive in Thunderbolt. Glad to have you along here on the show. And BJ, we just talked with Gary Goff. They're still playing football. Of course, you got Georgia playing football this weekend, and our next guest, he's still playing football this weekend. Danny Britt, head coach of the Benedictine Cadets in the state semifinals. Coach, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by for a little bit. I know busy week, but we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, it's a nice break to get away and come talk a little ball with you.
Well, let's talk. Let me talk just what is this week like? Because we've seen all around college football, guys getting hired, guys getting fired, new coordinators coming here, there. You guys happen to still be playing, and this is a big recruiting time as well. How do you kind of balance all that with football? And hey, my guys have got coaches stopping. I want to talk to them, but we got a huge game on Friday. How does that all kind of work this time of year?
Yeah, it is. It is a lot, and we've had, I think it was 22 different colleges coming in this week, not to count the ones calling and texting and emailing. So, I'm earning my salary this week for sure, but it's great. I mean, that's a wonderful thing, and it's wonderful to be able to have them come to practice, and we're still practicing. So it's great exposure for these kids, especially, the Holden Gurner is going to get – it's been done. Like, that's over. We know what's happening with him. But the Matt Cromanhawks, the Cam Edges that are college football players, but maybe not at the same level, it's really good for them because those coaches can see them practice, maybe see them play. So it's really good for them.
How does the preparation in the postseason compare to the regular season where, you don't know who you're playing until the week of and there's such a sense of urgency? Do you guys try to maintain the same approach?
We do. It really is the exact same approach, honestly. Now, the difference is, as far as practice is concerned, you're really 100% focused on that one varsity team because we also have a JV and a freshman team. So in the regular season, there's a lot of managing. So from a coach's perspective, it's almost easier for us because we're not having to manage all that. Now, the truth is, you hit the Final Four, we trade all film. So we're reviewing every game that has been played. So, we're putting more time into it, but as far as what the kids do and how we do it with the scouting report and when that is and what film we're watching when and what we're doing is pretty much exactly the same as it is week one.
And, of course, a huge game last week with Marist. I know you have a pretty quick turnaround for letting it go, but that was a slugfest last week. Talk about how big that was to pull that through. And I know we called the game, so that last drive where there was about 5 minutes and you guys were able against a tradition-rich team, put a 5-minute drive together, not let them get the ball back.
Yeah, one, that was huge. And yes, I think I said this on the post-game show. At this age now, I enjoy them. And I do. I really, the next day I'm going to take and I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to smile. I'm going to read the paper. I'm not one of those cats. Now, I'm working on what we're doing and for the next team, of course. But yeah, that was huge. It's a very big win for us. Marist is Marist.
Yep.
And especially us being another Catholic school, that was really big for a lot of our people. And then I thought the defense played incredibly well. And then we countered each other. When the offense didn't do well, we drove down and threw the interception. The defense came and got a 3-and-out. Boom, we kicked the field goal. Kicked it back to them, got a 3-and-out, scored. And then once they scored, and it was 5 minutes and 5 seconds, we got that ball back and ran that 5 minutes, 5 seconds off the clock with them with 2 timeouts. So very impressive, just wheeling our way to a win.
Huge performance. Does momentum carry over week to week in the playoffs?
I think it does. I think it has to. And I think it's going to be the same for North Oconee. They weren't playing very well when we played them last time, and that was a long time ago. And now they are playing with great inspiration and great momentum. So I think for both of us it does, yes.
Speak to that. I know North Oconee, a team you did play. As you said, your first win of the season was against North Oconee, but they're a different team now. You're a different team than the way you guys were playing way back then. How does that even compare to what you're prepared for, I guess, on Friday?
Yeah, I think the kids are smart enough to understand that. I think you can see it. You can see it on the film on both of our sides. You can see the pace that we're playing is different, and the confidence that we're both playing with is different. So there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Again, your focus has to be you. I mean, scheming, we're going to scheme against the other team, and everything that they're doing, they're going to do the same. But our focus has to be on us. And if we play at the level that we can play at, I believe we can win every game. We can win this championship. But if we don't, we'll lose. It's that simple.
A lot of people ask what it takes to be an SEC quarterback. When you look at Garner, what are the traits that make him unique, make him special?
He has a lot. You're probably not going to think of my answer. My answer is his mind. He's extremely aggressive. You don't know it because he's always seems so composed, and he's always just that handsome, good looking, not saying a whole lot, but he's a fighter, and he has that motivation with him, and then he has arm talent as good as I've ever seen. I mean, he can really place the ball all over the field.
And again, he has had a tremendous year. Him and Justin Thomas. I know Christian has said this to you a bunch. Like, how many people ask you? I can't believe he's just going to play baseball. He's had an unbelievable season. But just speak to the amount of athleticism you have, not only at quarterback but across your roster. You have a lot of guys who are really, really good at what you're asking them to do.
Yeah, definitely. And I was talking to Coach Coleman and Coach Phillips about this the other day, and I said, this isn't always going to be the case. This is enjoy this. It's a lot of fun. But yes, you obviously have Justin. You have a quarterback, with like Holden, but then you Cam Edge. Cam is actually quicker than both Justin and Zaquan in a 10-yard space. Now, open up, no, but in a 10-yard space, he's quicker. And then you add, of course, Zaquan is unbelievable, and then you add Luke Croman-Hawk into that mix, and then now we've got Ack Edwards back, and Lamont Mitchell's doing a great job, and just a number of guys. And we got a young guy, Rayshawn Matthews, who plays behind Justin Thomas, but he's going to be a really special player as well.
I know all of us fans are going to talk about 3-4 guys, but how vital is that balance if you're going to win a state title?
You got to have it. You got to have it to win a state title. Here's what's so neat about it for me is you can have those guys, but in order to win a state title, you have to have the BC guy, and by that I mean he was born with a BC blanket in his crib, and he's going to BC regardless. And he says, I may not ever start, or if I do, it'll be my senior year. And he plays special teams and just gives it everything he has. That's what actually wins it. There's those guys right there.
And again, North Oconee coming up tomorrow night. Looking forward to being on the call for that. Before we let you go, we'll talk something your game with North Oconee, SEC championship game this weekend. I know you got a little bit of a tie-in with that one. How do you see that one going?
Yeah, I'm nervous because it's Nick Saban, and I never, ever, ever, ever bet against Nick Saban, and I'm a huge Nick Saban fan, but I'm rooting for Georgia, and I think Georgia is a better football team. I don't think anybody can touch Georgia, to be honest with you. I think we'd all agree. Doesn't mean it'll happen, but all agree. And actually, my wife told me earlier she's got a first-class tickets to fly up Saturday and fly back Saturday night, and we have somehow she got her hands on some box seats. So I'm excited, and Southern's going to be there. So I'll get no sleep and be up there watching it, and then fly back, and hopefully we win Friday. So then I'll have to drive back to Atlanta Sunday morning for the meetings at the stadium.
Absolutely. Hey, that's going to be, hopefully that all works out. But Danny Britt, we appreciate you coming by. We'll talk to you tomorrow, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Coach Danny Britt joining us here on 3 and Out. We'll come back with more from Coach's Corner on this Thursday afternoon. This is 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Stetson Bennett because he's the guy